but not.
We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
This whole surviving life thing is pretty tough. Some people use therapy to get through it, others use their friends, and some just fight their way through. Whatever season of life you're in right now, this podcast is for you. Hi, I'm Morgan from The Bobby Bones Show and host of the new podcast, Take This Personally. I'm bringing on my friends and experts to cover a variety of topics in hopes of us all feeling a little less alone in this crazy world. Nicole, the neuroscientist, will help us understand why we are the way we are.
Our anxious brain or our emotional brain will make us believe things that are not necessarily true.
Jared can relate to fighting our hardest battles.
I was living on couches. Sometimes I was in my car. I was just all over the place. I think about it now, how many people open their doors to me.
We will explore what it means to change careers.
I think a lot of people put the pressure on their career to fulfill their passion, when your purpose or your passion and your calling can be something that's much deeper than just your job.
And how we can all find that special love in this wild dating era.
In order to find the right one, before you do that, you have to be able to identify the wrong one.
This podcast will be the guide you need to surviving life with a friend at your side.
If a friendship is about give and take, but we just want to give, and we're like, oh, I don't want to take, I don't want to impose, I don't want to inconvenience her, then you're not reaping the full benefits of friendship.
The first episode is out now. Download it wherever you get your podcast.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horns. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeart Radio app. Free never sounded so good.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Good morning, Austin, K-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland,
Leander, and Silsbee, Texas.
Or wherever you may be listening. This is a Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. Texas softball advances to the Super Regionals as the Aggies fall at home. Also, they will get the Clemson Tigers at home. Texas baseball finishes the regular season on a high note. J.J. Gott of the Austin Gamblers will join us at 7:34 to talk about a movie premiere and about the PBR draft. Also, Game 7s go to the Young Guns and the Old Heads. I am your host, Mike Hardball Hardge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and recognized as the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry.
Good morning, Austin.
And our guy Marcus is behind the boards. And if you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. Also, we're going to give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see, guess who? Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. And all you got to do is use that talkback feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. We'll give you a keyword. You leave it, and you might be the one who wins those tickets. Well, let's get into it. Last week we were talking about softball and baseball and what has been going on the 40 acres. And we said, well, it's a good day to be a Longhorn. Well, those are the types of things that continue to happen as the Texas softball team wins the super regionals and now, wins the regionals and now advances to the super regionals. And they have done an unbelievable job when you sit back and you think about what Mike White and his crew has been able to do. We've had the conversation with Mike White on Thursday, and he talked about his team and everything that has gone on with his team. All they did was go out there and handle their business. They clinched their 6th straight and 10th overall advancement to the Super Regionals with a 9-0 victory over UCF. People were looking at this game and trying to figure out if Texas was going to play UCF as they continued to roll through their competition. And they did it. They beat Eastern Illinois on Friday 10-2. They beat Michigan 16-4. And then they came back and beat UCF 9-0, and they continue to roll on. And Mike White talked about how his team performed.
Oh yeah, it's big. We always talk about wanting to score first and kind of put them away early to just get some momentum on our side.
This game's about momentum, and we have some momentum right now. We just got to keep it and just keep attacking. It's win or go home. So you don't want to be that team that's going to play your last game here on this field. We're going to play our last games in OKC. That's our goal.
And that's the beautiful part about this is you start to look at how this is set up. As you said, you get your first goal is to get a regional. Your second goal is to get the super regional.
Yeah.
Third goal is to get to OKC and win the whole doggone thing. In Texas, the last time people saw Texas softball going into this weekend, they got run ruled by the number 1 team in the land, number 1 overall, Texas A&M, 14-2 in the SEC tournament. And everybody thought the sky was falling. And we if you play the game, you understand, no, it's not falling because we get another opportunity to go back out there and play.
Right.
It wasn't the end of the season. As he said, it's win or go home now.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Where's Texas A&M?
They are on the way to Cancun.
They going to Galveston?
They're going to Galveston.
They're going to Padre.
Yeah, they get to go a little bit closer.
Yeah,
they
get to go
Padre.
South Padre.
Yeah, because they ended up losing to Liberty last night in epic fashion. Texas A&M became the first number 1 overall seed in the tournament since 2005 when it was created, when the seedings were created. They become the first team to be eliminated. But I'm not going to beat up on you, Aggies. That's not about you. I want to highlight what Texas has been able to do, and they've done it on the mound, and they got Texas. A chance to do it at the plate. And some of their big hitters continue to show up, and they talked about it.
Oh yeah, it's big. We always talk about wanting to score first and kind of put them away early to just get some momentum on our side.
This game's about momentum, and we have some momentum right now. We just got to.
Oh yeah, it's big. We always talk about wanting to score.
Yeah, I think we've been tied for home runs in weeks now.
At the beginning of the season, it kind of was back and forth a little bit, and then she got ahead of me, and then I kind of had a few there.
So every time I hit one, she's like, now I got to hit one. We got to stay tied.
Now it's just it seriously does happen. If she hits one, then I hit one.
And that's the beautiful thing. When they go up to the plate, those girls understand that I got a chance to hit a home run. You got a chance to get a home run. It's like Oprah. Everybody gets a home run. Everybody gets a home run.
Oh, I like those.
That's how you got to make it happen. They hit.
We got a little ghost in the Matrix right there. Mr. Ghost Fingers.
Against Michigan. Against Michigan when they won 16-4. Reese Atwood hit a home run. Katie Stewart hit a home run. Jolie Mitchell hit a home run. Leanne Good hit a home run. and Katie
Stop
Bennett
it. Now you
hit a home run.
grandstanding.
And that was what it's all about. When you start to look at these games and your team continues to find ways to get victories, and you
Henry didn't hit one?
No, Henry didn't hit one.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but good thought though. I like the way you think about it. But you start to look at these teams and you say, okay, what's next for each squad? Well, Texas now advances. They will be hosting starting Thursday. All games will be at 8 p.m. Thursday night, starting Thursday night against Clemson. Clemson advances to the Super Regional after a 5-1 victory over Kentucky. We'll have more of those conversations later in the week. We'll try to get Mike White back on with us. Obviously, we're going to talk baseball in the next segment, but Texas athletics continues to do some major things. And I know a lot of people don't, they get tired of listening about the University of Texas.
Well, don't listen to sports radio if you don't want to hear about sports, because that's what we're going to talk about.
And our guy, John Bianco, the sports information director over at the University of Texas, he posted this for Texas sports. Texas baseball wins the SEC championship. This was all over the weekend. Texas baseball wins the SEC championship. Texas men's tennis advanced to the NCAA Final Four. Texas softball runs through the Austin Regional and now are on to the Super Regionals. Texas track and field, cross country, 3 SEC individual titles. And then Texas women's golf is looking to advance to match play at the NCAA tournament. So they have done an unbelievable job at the university of getting this thing rolling. And my question to you, Mark, and it's not, as you say, like you like to say, grandstanding. Has this become the best year for University of Texas athletics?
Wow, the best year? I mean,
well, I take that back. I'll take it back. It couldn't be, because it's got to be national championships all the way around, right? Like in 2005, Texas football wins the national championship. Texas baseball wins the national championship as well. So those are some special years. But as a whole, when you look at the swimming and diving, you look at tennis, Chris Del Conte has put together one of the greatest assembly of coaches around. And he continues to they continue to do the things that they need to do to win. And now, obviously, the players have to be the right type of players. But you look at it, it's amazing when you sit back and you think about what's going on the 40 acres. And I'm not trying to blow this whole thing up, but the reality of the conversation is this. This is a great year and a time to be a Longhorn, Mark.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself, if Texas wins baseball, Texas wins softball, definitely, hands down, it's the best ever, because that's the most imminent things right now. But one or the other, I think Texas still can be considered the greatest. This is the greatest year with the consistency and the overall. We just got to get basketball back in the top running.
If baseball and softball, or either just one of them win a championship,
one of them, yeah.
Would you consider them the school dominating?
I definitely would consider it dominating, especially
either one would make it a dominating season.
Yeah, this is.
We are the nation of domination.
This dude right here, he got me. He got me.
He set that up.
He set me up.
He set that up so perfect. I'm like, where's he going with this? Oh, that was good. That's really, really good. But yeah, you start to look at this and you understand that the programs are headed in the right direction.
Yes.
When you start looking at the recruiting, you start looking at the performance on the field and how things are being viewed. Texas has done an unbelievable job so far, but the job's not done. There's still a journey out there. And speaking of the journey that is out there, we continue on the Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff. Coming up next, we talk baseball as they finish the season on a high note. And we'll talk about it right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
One time when Bill Schoening and I were doing a Tuesday night game, and there was an umpire behind the plate, Tom Jenkins. And Tom was a rather corpulent fellow, and he lets a pitch go in there. And you hear this popping in. He goes, ball two. Then crystal clear that our field mic picked up was some fan yelling, Jenkins, you fat.
Only on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
We have an accident blocking two left lanes, 35 northbound at Stastny Lane, causing a 95-minute delay. Also, we have another accident blocking two left lanes, 35 northbound at Onion Creek Parkway. And then finally, some stop-and-go traffic, 35 southbound between Palmer Lane and Breaker Lane, about a 4-minute delay. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
Need an AC company you can count on? Call Abacus. From tune-ups to repairs and the latest indoor air quality solutions, Abacus can do it all. Now get 0% financing for 60 months on select Linux systems. If you want the best, call Abacus. You can count on us.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $500,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
Hey Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are reigning. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right, customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
iHeartRadio's got you covered for the summer. Hit play on the perfect summer playlist like Summer Classics. Road tripping with commercial-free weekends on Smells Like the 90s. or zone out in the shade with a good podcast. Your summer soundtrack is already in your pocket with the free iHeartRadio app. Find your next summer preset now.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. Less than 1% of water on Earth is drinkable, and humans are using it faster than nature can replenish it. Reduce the amount of water you use in the bathroom by taking shorter showers and turning the water off while you brush your teeth. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Texas baseball plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to a Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300. Mike Hardball, the world's strongest man in WWE, Mark Henry. And of course, we've got our guy, Marcus behind the boards. And coming up in the next segment, we'll be talking to the CEO of the Austin Gamblers, JJ Gotch, as he comes on to talk about the Gamblers. There's a new movie that is coming out. Remember, they did a Prime Video show a couple years ago that was pretty doggone cool, and I want to make sure that he gets a chance to tell you everything that's happening with the Austin Gamblers. But right now, let's talk about the number one ranked in the SEC Texas baseball team as they get ready for the SEC tournament. But how do you get ready for the tournament? You finish the season off in epic fashion by having their best record in the 15 years, best record in the last 15 years for the Texas Longhorns as they finished the regular season 42-11. They are the number one seed in the SEC tournament coming up. They won't play until Thursday, but I definitely wanted to give a shout out for them because it was the Longhorns' first Red River rivalry win of the series. That's right. I said, Red River rivalry and SEC play. They finished it off on Saturday after a long delay, but Luke Harrison was awesome on the mound, tossed 6 strong innings as they won 9-1 in the matchup. And Coach Schlossnagle, in his first season, did an unbelievable job, and he talked about this at the end of that game.
It's time for our post-game conversation down on the field with head coach Jim Schlossnagle. Let's go downstairs to Keith.
Skipper, one of the things that I watched is you see a really guy that's got good stuff, but your team just kept battling, and Luke was just awesome throughout the game.
Yeah, Luke did a nice job, and I mean another Witherspoon was incredible, and we had to pitch with him, and then we got some good swings at the end of the game, but Oklahoma's got a heck of a pitching staff, man. They smother you.
The other part of that is I loved what you did there at the end. Thomas Burns really gave you something today. I mean, he's been really good, but he gave you 3 full, and that's hard to do.
He did. If he, could do some other things for us in a postseason, or maybe even take a look at it in the conference tournament, certainly got a chance to be maybe be a starting pitcher. And I don't know about this year, but at some point in his career, it'd be awesome. That's what he was last year. Now his stuff's ticked up. We'll see, but he's super valuable in that role.
How do you analyze? You look back, you already were the champions. You look at it now. You won 22 games in conference play, and you go into a tournament. It's just a different environment going into this single elimination because I've never been involved in a single elimination tournament.
Yeah, it's first for everybody. I tell you, it's a great experience. We're not going to go down. We don't play till Thursday, right? So we're not going to go down till Wednesday. But I'm kind of kicking myself I'd like for our team just to be around it because it really is it's a mini Omaha. You get treated so well. The fans are amazing. I'm just hoping that the fans come. That was the scary thing when we came up with that bracket is how is it going to affect the fans, especially people far away, with the potential that you only play one game. But it's an awesome experience, great ballpark. All the media and everything that goes with it. It's really good preparation for postseason.
Well, thank you from us for doing everything and all these interviews after the game, Coach.
Thank you, buddy. It sure is fun to do them after we win.
That's right. Hook 'em.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you start to look at the baseball season, and as a whole, you start looking at every game and the aspect of every game, and you try to understand that baseball is a journey. And for what Texas was able to do and the ability to find a way to get dubs when the dubs aren't going to be easy to get, you start to think about some of the guys that have stepped up and the ability to lead their team. And the one thing that I continue to look at is the way that coach was able to piece a lot of these things together, Mark. You start looking at the injuries that they had at the very beginning of the season. You got a brand new a brand new staff that comes in. You get some holdovers from the previous staff as far as players. Then you get transfer portal guys. You lose one of your Friday night guy, and you fill it in, and you find a way to win these series. And you start to look. I mean, going into the season, we talked about the SEC as a whole and how difficult it was going to be. You start the season off, you sweep at Mississippi State. You win 2 out of 3 against LSU, who was the number 2 team at the time. Then you go to Missouri and you sweep the Missouri Tigers. You find out they weren't very good, but you still sweep the Georgia Bulldogs as they come to UFCU. You go on the road, you win the series, but you lose a game that Saturday against Kentucky, but you win another series. You sweep that then team, the number 8 Auburn Tigers. You sweep Texas A&M. You lose 3 in a row. You lose a 3-game losing streak to Arkansas, but then you come back. You lose that series against Florida, and then you finish the series against Oklahoma by winning it to get yourself back into it. You still win the SEC. You're the number 1 seed in the SEC. The SEC tournament starts tomorrow, but you don't play until Thursday because you are the number 1 team in the conference.
You know what? And you're not going to rust in just that amount of days. You know, it's okay to have a couple of days off.
You need the rest.
You need the rest. You need to let the well fill up, as Dr. Todd used to say. Let the well fill up. And I think that that's a essential thing for what, Texas success. And Coach Schlossnagle manipulated his schedule with his pitching to fit what's going to be best for the team going forward for the tournament. So I have no doubt whatsoever in what they're doing over there. Coach Schlossnagle's got this under control. Just stand out the way and let the man do his thing.
So the funny thing about the SEC tournament is all 16 teams get in. All 16 teams get in. So if you're finishing 1 through 4, you get a double bye. As I said, the tournament starts tomorrow, 9:30 in the morning. Missouri, number 16 team, will take on the number 9 team, Alabama. The number 13, followed by the number 13 team, Kentucky, taking on the number 12 team, Oklahoma. Game 3 is South Carolina and Florida, and game 4 is Texas A&M versus Mississippi State. Then if you're the top 8 seeds, you have 1 bye. So you have Tennessee is the number 8 seed. They will take on the winner of Missouri and Alabama. But here's the deal. The winner of that game will take on Tennessee, and the winner of that game will take on Texas.
There's no such thing as a gimme.
No, there's not.
But there is the cream of the crop. And if you take those top 4 teams and you let them start at the teams beneath them and let them mash each other up, and then you come in 2 games later, it kind of balances out. Now you're playing the middle of the field to up where the top is.
Well, and then also too, if those guys that are at the end, they have to win.
Right.
They have to. Those others, Texas doesn't have to win this series.
They don't have nothing to prove.
They're already in. They're already in the tournament at the end of the year. So some of these other teams, they have to go out and play well so they can get themselves in a good seed when they get ready to get into the tournament. Because if you look at the top 8 of these, they'll all be in. It's those other guys that are trying to upset the apple cart, like a Texas A&M who started the season as the number 1 team in the land. Now they're the number 14 team in the SEC. So they need to go on a run for themselves to even have a chance to get into the NCAA tournament. So that is why when you try to look at the balance and where it all takes place, this is the time for all of that to start to happen. So it'll be fun to see how it all plays out. Baseball, this is the fun time of it because you get your regionals, you get your super regionals, and then the next one is Omaha. So after this weekend, we'll start to see how the regionals and super regionals will start to line out. I'm excited about it, to say the least. Coming up next, we're going to have our guy, JJ Gotch, talking all things Austin Gamblers right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Still working that accident, blocking 2 left lanes, 35 northbound at Onion Creek Parkway. Still about a 37-minute delay. Stop and go traffic back to Cabela's Drive. Also, another accident. This cleared I-35 northbound at Stastny Lane. That is a 25-minute delay. Stop and go back to FM 1626. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
M20628. Clogged drain or sewer lines? Call Abacus. Pipe, slab, or yard leaks? Call Abacus. Water leaks, toilet problems, any plumbing repairs? Abacus can do it all. Now, get the 49 mainline special. Only $49. Clean out access required. Abacus. You can count on us.
Graduation caps are fixing to be flying and summer plans are heating up. So why not kick it all off with a brand new Chevy from Covert Hutto? Check out deals like $12,250 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 RST, $4,000 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Tahoe Premier, and $4,000 off MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Equinox LT. See dealer for details. Covert has been family owned since 1909 because trust, value, and Texas pride never go out of style. Covert ChevyHuddle.com. Together, let's drive.
Earl Campbell here for my good friends at Austin Shoe Hospital. Austin Shoe Hospital has been repairing my favorite boots and shoes for over 30 years. They are the best Western boot repair company in Texas and can repair any boot, brand, or style. Visit the master cobblers at Austin Shoe Hospital, and they will bring all your shoes, boots, and bags back to life. If you can wear it, they can repair it. Oh, yes, and hook 'em horns.
Visit AustinShoeHospital.com.
When divorce puts your life's work on the line, Cordell & Cordell is ready to help you protect it. As a business owner, you've dedicated years building a legacy now at risk due to divorce. Let our experienced family law attorneys fight for you and that legacy. Cordell & Cordell is one of the nation's largest family law firms. Call to schedule your consultation today.
Offices in Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Austin area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
It is tough to go outside these days. Hey, that's understandable given how hot it is. But there is definitely a way to beat the heat. A trip to Inner Space Caverns in Georgetown. Inner Space Caverns is a great place to take the family. You'd be amazed at all of the beautiful formations, large rooms, prehistoric animal bones, and all kinds of creations with a truly unique discovery story right here in the Austin area in the year-round temperature of a very comfortable 72 degrees. You can check out the super exciting Sabertooth Zip Ride or Pan for Gemstones. Take the Wild Cave Tour or the Hidden Passages Tour. And there's a great souvenir gift shop and newly remodeled restrooms. Get out of the house, but get out of the heat and get some fresh air underground. Inner Space Caverns, right off I-35 at exit 259 in Georgetown. That's Inner Space Caverns. For more details, check them out on the web at innerspacecaverns.com. Inner Space Caverns. Check it out. Your adventure awaits.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed. Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Elliot Ramos drove into to help the Giants sweep the A's at home. Niners quarterback Brock Purdy's 5-year, $265 million extension includes a no-trade clause for the duration of the contract. Thunder blew out the Nuggets to advance to the West Finals for the first time since 2016 in a date with the Timberwolves. Scottie Scheffler finished atop the leaderboard at 11 under to win the PGA Championship. I'm Rhonda Moss.
This is Chris Broussard. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by DraftKings. DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 or older. Age and eligibility vary by jurisdiction.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Texas Longhorns.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. This time it is special because there is so much that is going on in Austin, Texas, and I have become a huge, huge fan of the PBR thanks to this young gentleman, JJ Gotch, the CEO of the Austin Gamblers, and of course, my guy, G-Man Mike Gaffney, have got me immersed into the PBR. And JJ, I want to get right into it. You guys have done an unbelievable job throughout the years in your inauguration into PBR. You have changed the landscape of it all. So kudos to you guys. But you guys find a way to get it done on those bulls. And just recently, you've had a guy, Jose Vitor Lime, who has been a world champion before. But you sent me something today about the amount of money that he has won in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's truly amazing, and I've said this before, but after watching the last 10 days, you think of people like Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, and you got to put Jose's name in there. Jose Vitor Leme is, I used to say, arguably the greatest bull rider of all time, but it's not even an argument anymore after what you just saw. He was hurt most of the season, was out for over a month. He was ranked all the way as low as 31st, came back, got healthy, and then these last 2 weeks he had to be perfect in the biggest stage with the brightest lights. 2 weeks of the PBR World Finals, finishing at Cowboys Stadium, AT&T, packed house, and he goes 8 for 8, wins $1.8 million in 10 days, and becomes the richest Western sports athlete in history. Has now earned over $8 million. It was just truly amazing to see. You know, we've all been in sports our entire life, and we've gotten to see performances, and you see these guys when the lights are the brightest, when the pressure is the greatest, and that's when they really shine. And that's Jose, and it's amazing. You know, he's our team captain during the teen season, but to see him on the individual level and to see his greatness, if you're into sports, and it doesn't matter if it's Roger Federer in tennis when he was on his height, or if it's Lewis Hamilton as an F1 racer, to know that you're watching one of the greatest of all time, it's awesome.
Yeah, and it you know, as I've said before, and I try to tell people every chance that I get, if you've never gone to a PBR event, make the time to do it wherever you live, wherever you're listening at. Obviously, we want you to go to the Austin Gamblers because they're right here at the Moody Center. But it is one of the most intense things that I have ever been around in my life, because what people truly don't understand, they see the bucking bull, but you guys call those bulls athletes, but the way that these gentlemen have to be able to be in that kind of shape to be able to ride those bulls is something that I've never seen before in my life.
No, it's a controlled car wreck every 8 seconds, and these guys and the entertainment experience from a fan level, and I know your boy Mark is there as well. But it's like a WWE event meets a rock concert meets a rodeo, and but it's an amazing adrenaline-filled experience, and to watch
monster trucks.
These guys. Exactly right. Hey, Mark, real quick. Glad to be part of the family now. I think everybody knows, but if for those that don't, PBR has become a part of TKO Holdings, which is UFC and WWE, and so PBR is now the third leg of that stool, and we're excited to be a part of that. But no, it's an amazing event, and for those that haven't seen it, it's and these are the greatest bull riders in the world. That's what PBR is. Rodeo has been around for a couple hundred years, and PBR broke off 32, 34 years ago, and they took the best bull riders in the world and the best bulls, and that's what it is. And when you're going to a PBR event, you are literally watching the best in the world at their craft.
So you can't just jump on the toughest, meanest bull in the world. So when the guys start a season, do they start the season with the 30th ranked bull and then work their way to number one, or do they have to be seeded in order to reach the bull that's the most dangerous?
Well, it's a little bit like either minor league baseball or like basketball's got the G League. There's a couple different levels of PBR, and when a guy gets started, he comes out of high school or fresh out of college or comes over from Brazil, and they're trying to get used to the speed and the pace and the power of these bulls. There's like a second level called the velocity tour where these guys go to kind of, figure out, one, can they do it? Do they have the chops to do it? But then once you get to the PBR and you get to the premier level in the individual season, or you're on one of our teams, you're facing these bulls, Mark, every week. You're facing the toughest bulls every week. And so, once you get up there, it's like, you're facing, like in baseball, though, it's like you're facing Nolan Ryan once every 5 days. Now, you may be facing, the fifth starter, but he's still pretty damn good. But yeah, so once you get up there, there's the training day is over. You got to bring it. And that's the other thing is it's, in other sports, the worst thing that can happen is you can lose, right? That's the worst thing that happen. In bull riding, you can lose, you can win and still die. And these guys, they can hold on for 8 seconds, which is a qualified ride. But still, you've got to get off the bull safely and get out of the arena. And so that's the other part that's inherent about these guys. It's not just the athletic ability to be able to do it, but to have the mind and the focus to be able to block out everything else, to be able to ride and then get off successfully and get out of the arena. So that's what I tell people. It's half athletic skill, but just half the focus that these guys have to have and maintain that courage and block out all those things that could go wrong to be able to do their job. It's truly amazing.
We're talking to JJ Gotch, CEO of the Austin Gamblers. And JJ, you got a couple of events that are coming up here in the next couple days, starting with a movie premiere that's going on tonight.
Yeah, so that the ride, it's Neil McDonough's film. It's coming out actually this weekend. Memorial Day is when it's launching, so that's what we're kind of celebrating now. He's come on as an investor. But really the big news, Mike, is that everybody in the Western sports world is probably on I-35, a little hungover from last night, driving down from Cowboy Stadium. But they're all going to be rolling into Austin today, and then tomorrow night we are hosting the 2025 PBR draft, and it's going to be at ACL Live Moody Theater. And the reason we're hosting it there is because, as you know, we're in Austin, we're the live music capital of the world. So not only are we going to have a quick draft where we're going to meet the next Jose Vitor Leme and the next future stars of the PBR, but we're going to have a full concert from Shane Smith and the Saints. So right after the draft, it's going to be a short 3-round draft, full concert from Shane Smith and the Saints. It's going on ACL Live Moody Theater downtown tomorrow night. Doors are at 6:30. Show starts at 7.
So make sure that y'all get over and check that out. We'll put some more information up tonight and tomorrow to let you know where to get the tickets and try to come over there and hang out. I will definitely be in the house tomorrow night, JJ. And as always, talking to you, man. We appreciate you, brother, and best of luck to you.
And Mike, Mark, appreciate it, boys. Have a great week.
All right, be careful.
Man, see you tomorrow.
Be careful on 35. Make sure you be careful out there. All right, there he is, JJ Gotch of the Austin Gamblers. Right now, I want you to leave the keyword BENT. BENT is the keyword on AM 1300 The Zone for a chance to win Alice Cooper and Judas Priest tickets for October the 25th at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater. We'll be back to close out hour number 1 right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300 The Zone.
The Craig Way Show with Craig Way.
Tex Schramm, you'd hear him on with Brad Sham when we had the show and I was the producer for it, called Ask Tex Schramm. This was like 1987. The football Cardinals were moving to Arizona. Brad Sham is doing the show. And so he asked him, he said, well, does that mean also now there'll be a change that the Atlanta Falcons would move from the NFC West to the NFC East? The Texas response was, well, once you're on an airplane, what difference does it make?
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Bonus bars. Bonus bars. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus bars. The winning happens every weekday, right here
on 1300 The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Still working that accident, blocking 2 left lanes, 35 northbound at Onion Creek Parkway. Still about a 37-minute delay, stop and go traffic back to Cabela's Drive. Also, another accident, this cleared, I-35 northbound at Stastny Lane. That is a 25-minute delay, stop and go back to FM 1626. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The riveting podcast, What Happened to Talina Czar, unravels the chilling mystery surrounding a woman's disappearance during the COVID-19 lockdown, the internet sleuths who wouldn't let it go, and the dark subcultures and betrayals they unearthed.
There were a lot of secrets that were very hard to find.
Listen to What Happened to Talina Czar on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow What Happened to Talina Czar and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
You want to see basketball played the way it's supposed to be? Well, check out Ice Cube's Big 3 all summer long. Fast, physical, and fun. Catch the best professional 3-on-3 players in the world live every weekend on CBS and Vice.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with ONE+, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Is credit card debt ruining your life? Did you know you have a right to settle that debt for much less than you owe? DebtBlue has helped people just like you resolve millions of dollars of high-interest credit card debt. They can help with payment relief, the burden of rising inflation, and have a large portion of your debt wiped clean. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, a free 10-minute phone call could save you thousands. Discover how to reduce or completely resolve your credit card debt. In fact, we're so sure that we can reduce your debt that we offer the Debt Blue Success Guarantee. We don't get paid unless your debt gets reduced or resolved, so there's absolutely no risk to call. For your free debt resolution plan, call 800-375-1158. That's 800-375-1158. The call is free. The consultation is free. The more you owe, the more you can save. Call now. 800-375-1158. 800-375-1158.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app in your phone today.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horns. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. Hook 'em, Horns.
Great stuff from JJ Gotch, the CEO of the Austin Gamblers. We are just around the corner from the Austin Gamblers getting their season started. But first, they have to have that draft. I can't wait to be a part of that. I wanted to bring this up because I don't think we truly understand. Well, golfers do, but I mean the average public doesn't really understand how good former Texas Longhorn Scotty Scheffler truly is. There was a story that was floating around just recently about the fact that Scotty Scheffler, who is one of the best to play golf right now, had to get rid of his clubs. The PGA made him get rid of his driver. They saw that his driver was illegal. Started pulling the ball quite a bit, new driver and all this great stuff. But when you're great at what you do, you find a way to get it done. And that's exactly what Scotty Scheffler was able to do with the PGA Championship. He went on an epic run, and he's the sports top star that has claimed last six majors with many victories coming in dramatic fashion. And all he ever does is go out there and play to his best. Jonathan Vegas, former Texas Longhorn, was leading into the weekend. He ends up finishing 5th and got a good little payday there. But Scotty Scheffler is somebody that he runs away from the pack. He becomes Tiger Woods-esque.
His own universe.
Yes, he becomes Tiger Woods-esque. And, you know, everybody in sports, we were talking about who's the face of the NBA, who's the face of the NFL, who's going to be the face of Major League Baseball. I think former Texas Longhorn Scotty Scheffler has now become that face.
Well, all you got to do is turn the TV on.
Right.
When they talk golf, that's one of the first, if not the first name you hear.
Yes.
They talk about drama with Liv. They talk about this and that. His name is always at the top.
And don't forget, he did some hard time.
Hard Birmingham time.
They got my man up out of there, and he came back, and all he does is continue to win. It's impressive. He finishes the PGA Championship at -11, wins $3.42 million in the process. He wins the match by 5 strokes, which is one of the largest separators out there. As I said,
let me hold something.
Yeah, as I said, Jonathan Vegas, former Texas Longhorn, finishes 5th at -5, and he led for a few days, had some luck on his side, but he came out and played consistently. And again, you look at what Scotty Scheffler has been able to do throughout his career. You look at where he is as a professional golfer, and he continues to put up ridiculous numbers. Ridiculous.
So if you're a golfer and you're looking for a college, Texas should be at the top of your list. You got people. I mean, you go through the list.
Yeah.
There's so many men and women.
No doubt.
I mean, that would be Texas would be at the top of my list if I was a championship high school golfer.
Well, and the other part of it is you to your point, you have to be pretty good to come here. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I bet there is a bunch of really. I got to find out. I need to. Who do we talk to?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to end up finding out recruiting. Calls. Yeah, we'll find out about the recruiting. I got a good friend of mine that played at Texas Golf, and you know, we can get Coach Fields on here as well and talk to him about what his golfers have achieved at the next level. His money is ridiculous. He continues to win a lot, but for a while, people were looking for that person. I still wish that Jordan Spieth would find his groove again, because he was supposed to be the next guy until Scotty came along. And then you look at what Rory McIlroy has been able to do in his career. He's finally getting over that hump, and he too is the face of golf. But right now, when you start to look at the way that Scotty has been able to show up every single time and make putt after putt after putt and finding ways to position himself in the right spot. I mean, this dude has changed the way people view golf.
I don't understand. Like, I watched a little bit this weekend, and on Sunday, got up in the morning and started seeing the final round. He dropped balls onto the green and it didn't move.
Right.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
I've never done it. I've never hit a ball and it landed and I was like, oh, I want it to land right there and don't move.
Yeah. Yeah, they know how to spin that thing, man. They know how to make it work. And, you know, again, that's why they do what they do, and that's why you do what you do. I mean, they are built for that. And
yeah, I don't think I want to see them under a 500-pound clean jerk.
No, that's not where they're good at. They don't need that for that. They don't need that for them. But they need is to be able to go out there and play at that elite level. It's been very impressive to watch what Scotty Scheffler's been able to do. And every time he steps onto a golf course, he has a chance to set a record, be the number one guy. And
which is a big responsibility to the league.
Well, and you start to look, in 3 years, he's got 15 wins.
Jeez.
3 years, he's got 15 wins. And they said it's the shortest span between the 1st and the 15th on the tour win. Tiger Woods was 3 years, 32 days. Jack Nicklaus was 3 years, 45 days. And Scotty Scheffler is 3 years, 94 days. So when your name is mentioned with those types of players, for you to get to your 15th victory on the golf course, it makes you understand how talented he truly, truly is. Wow. So shout out to former Texas Longhorn Scotty Scheffler. He had his baby there with him and his wife. And you know, you start looking at these types of trophies. Those are big money payouts, man. Big money payouts. So when the prize is out there for you, he keeps his eyes on the prize and he finds a way to get it done.
Nothing like them endorsements.
No, man. Nike dropped a commercial right after he won. He said, best golfer in the world, guilty. Memory got in trouble.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're already on their marketing. They understand what it's all about. And that's why Scotty Scheffler is undeniably on the rise. Rory McIlroy got his Grand Slam. I don't think it's going to be that much longer for my man Scotty Scheffler to get his Grand Slam coming up soon. We're just getting started in hour number 1. Hour number 2 is right around the corner, and we've got so much to get into. We hadn't talked NBA at all. We're about to do that. And some guy in the NFL got paid, and everyone is trying to figure out who's going to be Rookie of the Year. We'll do that and so much more coming up in hour number 2 of the Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
This is Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. Discover the true taste of Texas at Mom's Food, Smokehouse, and Delicatessen, where everything is handcrafted in-house, from the mustard to the bacon. proudly featured in the inaugural Michelin Guide of Texas. They source the finest products from local producers. Visit us at 5811 Manor Road, Austin, Texas, or find them at your favorite farmer's market. Pre-order their barbecue today. Don't you keep the best delicatessen in Austin a secret. Tell them Mark Henry sent you.
Football fans, the countdown is on. The rookies are ready. The matchups are heating up, and it's time to plan your game day. TickPick has you covered with no hidden fees and the lowest price guarantee. So whether you're heading to a rivalry game or just want a weekend experience, you'll pay less and get more. TickPick gives you all-in-one pricing and the lowest price guarantee. They're so confident, they back it up with their best price guarantee. Visit TickPick.com and score your seats before the best matchups are gone. $10 off your NFL order with code FS10 on the TickPick app.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again. Because more people are listening to the radio on iHeart today than they were 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, social, any other media. Even twice as many teens than TikTok. And that reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for your business. Radio's here now more than ever, and iHeart's leading the way. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio, where the reach is real. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time, just call 844-844-iHeart and get radio working for you.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Lisa Sky Hain loved working with people.
I want to do something that really lights me up. I love creating community, connecting people.
She was excited about her new job.
Day one, literally 8 a.m., I have an email that says, "Good morning. Let's create the largest networking community on the planet."
Lisa's new boss was a 6'5" entrepreneur from Israel named Adam Newman, and he had a brand new startup called WeWork.
I remember thinking, all right, I'm about to be on a ride.
Why is this a better idea for millennials than working at home or finding an office?
We like to say this is for the we generation. It's not limited by age or gender.
He said that they were elevating the consciousness of people on the planet.
It was $1 billion idea.
The co-working giant WeWork is amongst the most valuable startups in the world.
Downtown Vancouver.
We work here in Shenzhen.
WeWork खुला है मुंबई के.
From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Business Wars, comes a new series, We Crashed, about a $47 billion startup.
There was a lot of talk about movement and culture and spiritual awakening and empowerment. And quite frankly, it just all sounded, it's easy to say now.
That was just too good to be true.
One of my colleagues turned to me and said, "Oh my, this is a cult."
I'm David Brown, the host of Business Wars. We Crash wherever you're listening right now.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horns. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. In hour number 1, we talked about Texas softball advancing to the Super Regional. And oh yeah, Texas A&M is not advancing. We talked Texas baseball getting #1 overall seed in the SEC tournament, which starts Tuesday. We also had a chance to talk to JJ Gotch of the Austin Gamblers, and last we talked about Scotty Scheffler. But right now, we want to get into the conversation about the NBA. When we left on Friday, we was talking about Game 7s and who can get the victory. We also said Mark Henry pointed this out. New York, if they can get it done, the city will be on fire, and that's exactly what the city was as the New York Knicks defeated the Boston Celtics 119-81. I told my son, I said, the problem with this entire series, and that's the Boston and New York, when Jason Tatum got hurt, you knew they were going to win at Boston. But you knew if it got back to New York, it was going to be you can kiss the baby.
Kiss the baby.
Just because of the simple fact that the way that those New Yorkers was going to be fired up and ready to go. And I watched the Stephen A show with Spike Lee was on it on Friday. Spike Lee turned up, ready to go. They knew what the energy was going to be like in the building. And Mark, you've been there. You've seen a game in New York. And I know that your world's strongest take is going to be circled around a lot of that. But my question to you is, that energy in that building in New York is like no other.
No, it's you have to mentally prepare yourself to block out a crowd that is relentless. Even in a loss, you go to the Garden,
yeah,
they're chatting it up. They're still doing their New York Knicks chants.
Yep.
And when you go outside, the We Outside people are there.
Yeah.
And you come out of the Garden, there's only about 4 parking spaces for talent. Everybody else has to go across to the garage.
Yep.
Players included, coaches, everybody. And they have a wall set up so everybody could walk through. I've had stuff thrown at me. I had a car totaled from people beating on it when I was in the Nation of Domination. The Garden is something different. Michael Jordan and people that are externally motivated, when they go to the Garden, they turn up because they go to their greatness. I'm going to rely on my greatness. You can't be greater than me today.
Right.
And then those people succeed. The LeBrons always have great games. Kobe, Kevin Garnett, they have great games because they're like, come on, bring it. Let's go.
Right.
But everybody else, you watch. You go to the Garden under a pressure situation, most people fold.
Yeah.
So that's why the Spike Lees and all of the basketball players, the John Starks, they were disappointed in the results in the past of the Knicks players.
Right.
But now they have Jalen Brunson, and he's one of those guys that's going to will his team to win. He said he's been an underdog his whole life.
Yep. I can agree with that.
So, yeah, man, good luck to him.
Well, you start looking at how that game went and kind of turned on its head. You know, Jaylen Brown, he was playing with a torn meniscus. He came out the other day and said that he was playing with that. Derek White, who kind of carried them in the previous game, was 3 of 11 from the field. He didn't get hot. Peyton Pritchard was fighting, but he didn't have enough for him. So when you have that and your best player throughout that time is Jason Tatum and he's not there, it's going to make it very difficult. Like I said, you're going to win at home in Boston. New York didn't even care about that, to be quite honest with you, because they understood what you were about. But getting back to the Garden for that opportunity to win in front of the home crowd, and then we left the other day and we were talking about OG Anunoby. Is he going to be able to show up? He showed up.
Defensively, too.
He showed up. You look at what Josh Hart continues to bring to this team. Mikal Bridges. You know, it's kind of funny when you start to look at their squad and see the numbers that are being put up. We were talking about it on our drive back from Dallas the other day, and we were talking about the fact that when you start to look at the numbers by the team-wise, that's why they win. Because Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, and Josh Hart all played at Villanova together. They understand each other's roles. They understand how to play. And people didn't think not one of those guys were NBA players. And now look at them. Did you see them as the team to bring back the Knicks? No. You were looking for a big-name guy to come back. You were looking for somebody else to put them in that situation.
I don't know about you. You mean them? Because I told you at the beginning of the season that this was going to be a good year for the Knicks. I didn't think it was going to be this good.
That's what I mean. Like, the Garden is losing its mind right now. Stephen A. Smith cannot control himself right now because they've seen these people come in that you think are going to lead them.
Right.
You remember Tom Thibodeau was rubbing people the wrong way because he demanded that you play defense. That's why you go and get a guy like you go
Bridges,
get those. Yeah, you
Hart.
go get those guys from Villanova because that's what they were built on. You don't have to argue with them about playing defense. Those guys show up to play defense. But then you sit there and you look at it. Now we got the Eastern Conference old school game. Indiana Pacers, New York Knicks. You know Reggie Miller gonna be hype. This whole thing is going to be great. I'm excited for this. I know a lot of people are looking at this and saying, I'm not that excited about it. I'm excited
how
about
is
it.
Reggie Miller going to get his job done?
He's not. Those people are going to be behind him on the camera.
Reggie Miller needs to just say, guys, I need to sit in the crowd with the people.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to do that.
If you want to come every now and then and put a mic in my face, cool. But I want to enjoy this.
I think he better only do commentary in Indianapolis. Don't do it in New York.
Oh, yeah, you might not want to go to New York because walking across that street is not going to be good.
It's not going to be good for him. He's going to have security. So now we have Indiana taking on New York. That series starts on Wednesday. But right now, let's talk a little bit about Denver and OKC. Denver, they've gone fishing. Joker could go back and go look at his horses. But you start looking at OKC, the young guns was able to get it done. And that energy in that building was something to behold. But I want you to hear about Joker because I think we're all in agreement when we realize that the Joker needs some help. And here's Joker talking about the depth that they do not have.
The Thunder, they tried to make a point to wear you guys down with their depth throughout this series. You guys were obviously playing a shorter rotation for most of it. Maybe this is above your pay grade too, but as far as depth, what do you sort of think this team needs most going forward?
Like you said, it's about but yes, we definitely need probably. I think we played so long for such a way, and it's hard for the guys to step up and especially play, especially against two really good teams, Clippers and OKC. We cannot ask for somebody who didn't play maybe 20, 30 games to jump in and be good and expect him to be good, but Julian step up, he was good, Peyton, he was in a rotation, but he had some good minutes too. So definitely seems like the teams that has a longer rotation, the longer bench, it's the one who are winning. Indiana was the name, OKC, so Minnesota.
Well, the funny thing is, he already figured out what he's going to be doing this offseason, and I can't blame him.
And we will see, But from now, next couple of days, there's going to be a lot of beer, probably.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I think the Joker has earned his beer because of what he's been able to do and how he's gone about his business. There's nobody that is more deserving of the award that he possibly could win.
I can't wait for this new commercial to come out because you can't have him make a statement like that and not be a beer endorser.
Oh, he's going to get one, but it's got to be one from overseas because he probably won't do one for local.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? But if he does, make sure it's a Bud Light. Make sure.
There you go.
There you go.
Lob that up there for you.
Yeah. But, I want you to hear from Alex Caruso because Caruso was the X factor in this series. A lot of people forget that Alex is one hell of a defensive player. He drew the Joker assignment, and he was talking about the nerves going into it. And I kind of like what he said about this.
When Shea and Dub were in here, they said both of them said Dub said he didn't really sleep that much. He was excited to play. Shea said he was nervous before this game. Like, what did both of you feel before going into this game 7, and how'd you get through that initial nerves in the first quarter?
Let me go first. Yeah, I mean, I think, if you don't feel anything leading up to it, you're probably like a serial killer. You need to be checked out.
Sometimes you gotta have your emotions, because if you don't have them, something is not right with you.
That's why you have fear, to keep yourself out of trouble.
Exactly, and that's why Alex Caruso, big time player, has shown to be the X factor that every team is looking for. And that's why people were mad when the Bulls got rid of him. They were mad when the Lakers got rid of him.
Yes, they are.
Because he was that guy. But coming up next, we're going to transition to the NFL. That's right, folks. NFL action. We're about to talk about it. Somebody got paid, and was it enough? We'll talk about it right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
It's the Craig Way Show.
If Jerry Jones does care as much about his fans as he says, try to make some moves that might at least appeal to them a little more than a lot of the moves you made. In other words, like a real personnel person, real general manager. Make Will McClay the real general manager.
Voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Happy. That's happy. Enter it now.
AM 1300 The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
We do have some stop-and-go traffic, 35 northbound between Onion Creek Parkway and William Cannon Drive. That's about a 13-minute delay. We have another accident still reported. Ben White Boulevard on the frontage road eastbound at Todd Lane. And then finally, another accident reported East 3rd Street at Onion Street. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. In a rush and don't have time to shop for groceries? Let Randall's do the shopping for you. Now at Randall's, get $30 off your first online order. With free pickup or delivery, you will always get the same great prices, deals, and rewards as in-store. Shop Randalls.com or in the app.
When divorce places your home, finances, or kids in jeopardy, Cordell & Cordell is here to fight to protect your interests. Cordell & Cordell is committed to advocating for your rights in divorce and family law matters, providing the legal experience to fight for success. Call today for a consultation and details on our military service member pricing.
Offices in Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Austin area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, principal partner. CordellCordell.com.
Hey, Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are ending. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right. Customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040 or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
Retirement statements just hit mailboxes, and for many, the shock is real. Some investors lost 20% or more in just the first quarter. If you're close to retirement, that's more than a dip. It's a danger. But here's what most advisors won't tell you. Gold was up over 30% during the same time. That's a 60% swing. And in retirement, that kind of gap can change everything. So compare your Q1 statement to gold's performance. Then call Noble Gold Investments. Noble Gold specializes in helping people protect what they've earned with real assets like gold and silver. If you're tired of watching your nest egg shrink, it may be time for a change. And right now, when you open a qualified account, you'll receive a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. Compare and call 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. Or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $500,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
iHeartRadio presents Stuff You Should Know.
Caffeine can be really good for you and help a lot of things, and caffeine can be kind of bad for you.
It's a drug, and in its pure form, Chuck, it is a bitter-tasting crystalline powder.
Naturally, it's in the coffee bean and in chocolate and tea, but it's also added artificially in things like soda. Your body is enjoying the caffeine. It's blocking that adenosine. You're going to feel alert and awake. It's got that adrenaline going, and it's rewarding you with the dopamine. I mentioned the vicious cycle, the inevitable crash,
right?
Like any stimulant drug, and you want more of it. Eventually, it's going to affect your sleep patterns. All right, how about some health benefits?
Right.
They found everything from not develop Parkinson's disease to dropping your risk of various cancers.
Well, coffee actually is shown to reduce your risk of diabetes.
4 cups a day, 50% less chance of mouth and throat cancer.
You should eat more grapefruit because grapefruit contains something called narragin or narragin, and it actually slows the removal of caffeine from your brain.
Okay.
So you enjoy its effects longer.
Nice.
Yeah.
For the entire caffeine episode and everything else in the Stuff You Should Know universe, open the free iHeart app, search Stuff, and listen now.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns.
Morning Kickoff, Longhorn Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300. We're going to get into the NFL because there's been some movement finally in San Francisco. I want you to think about this and think about the journey of one Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has now become I guess you would say he's in the top 10 of highest paid quarterbacks per year. But think about how he got there. In case you missed it, the San Francisco 49ers decided to finally pay Brock Purdy, and we knew that the conversation was going to continue to happen. But you start looking at it, he signed a 5-year, $265 million extension that had $181 million in guarantees. Now, this is a quarterback that when he got into the NFL, he was Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, making $890,000 a year.
He was the last player drafted into the NFL. I don't know if you know who the last Mr. Irrelevant was.
No.
I don't think nobody does. That's why he's called Mr. Irrelevant. But Brock Purdy, Iowa State quarterback, will now be making $53 million per year as the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
He deserves it for work that he's already done.
Right, not for futures.
Not for a future, but it's 3 years. This first 3 years of this contract is where all that money is.
Right.
And then later on, if they say, you know what, man, this is not going to work, they can cut him.
They still going to definitely have to pay him some money, though.
Oh, they'll still have to pay.
Yeah.
They'll have to pay a little bit.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that they top-ended the contract.
And that's what, if I'm a player, that's what I want.
I want my money up front.
Give it to me. That's why when you play the lottery and they ask you want the cash option or you want all of it, I want a lump sum. Give me all of that. Because I don't know how much exactly how much longer I'm gonna be here. I don't know. But if you give me all that money, I can guarantee it's gonna be a little shorter. Because I'm gonna have a little bit way too much fun. But you start to look at these guys, and obviously the conversation is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is the highest paid quarterback, followed by Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa, Brock Purdy, and Jared Goff. Jared Goff is the top 10, and he is right there, the last one with Brock Purdy.
Did you say Lamar Jackson?
I did not say Lamar Jackson. He is not in that conversation on the highest paid QBs per year. That's going to be, remember, he negotiated his own contract. He was the one that was in there fighting for his money. And now he is not that guy. But I guarantee
Well, he also said that he didn't want to be on a team where he was the best player, but he didn't have nobody to play with.
Right.
And a lot of guys don't subscribe to that theory. They like, run me my money.
Well, let's think about it. Let's think about this.
I want to be Lamar Jackson. I don't want to be Brock Purdy.
You know why you want to be Lamar Jackson? Because you were already a first-round pick.
Right, and I want to win.
Brock Purdy was not a first round. Yes, he was the last player drafted.
So, you know what? That's a good point.
Dak Prescott was a middle of the draft guy. He was a 4th rounder, 5th rounder. You look at it, Joe Burrow, he was the top of the food chain. Josh Allen, top of the food chain. Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, all those guys, they were at the top.
They got them $30 million signing bonuses.
Exactly.
Brock Purdy living in an apartment still.
Exactly. Trying to figure out if he was going to eat ramen or.
No, watch out now. He wasn't that poor. Come on. It wasn't over there like he was at Iowa State. Yeah. A lot of people don't. I don't know if anybody else saw it like I did, but I would have drafted Brock Purdy in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. I would have, because I remember him coming to Austin and giving Texas the business.
Yeah.
And the year before, he gave everybody the business. And the thing that I found that was the most alarming about whenever we played against Iowa State was his consistency. And on 3rd down, he steps up.
Yeah.
Because he can run the ball. And not just averagely run the ball. Brock Purdy is fast. Oh, he's fast. I remember the combine. He did all right.
I don't know if he's fast, but he's elusive. Let's say that. He's smart because he gets down. He's not going to take a big hit. He's not going to try to run anybody over, and he's not going to try to run away from nobody. But he will try to make positive
scramble
yards.
On you and get that first down.
Exactly, and that's all I ever ask of the quarterback. But you start to look at the NFL and how it's shaping up. We went through the schedule. We'll go through it again. We'll start picking our not scores, but who's going to win each division. But if you look at the West, just look at the NFC West. You got Matthew Stafford in L.A.
Okay.
You got Brock Purdy at San Fran. You have Kyler Murray in Arizona. And the only team that you're not sure of is the Seattle Seahawks, who has their quarterback. But you start to understand that, is this going to be the move? They got Sam Darnold. So where would you put Brock Purdy just in the NFC West?
In the West, because of previous production, I would say 2nd or 3rd.
More than likely, you would say 3rd, because talent-wise, nobody's more talented than Kyler Murray.
No.
Matthew Stafford, golden arm still to this day. He's a pass away from getting the Rams into the Super Bowl in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He's a pass away from making that happen. You don't know what Sam Darnold's going to be because now he's in a new place. You know, he might have been fool's gold because he had such a great offensive coordinator, head coach, and Kevin O'Connell. So now you start looking and saying, okay, Kyle Shanahan is one of the best play callers in the game. One of the best in the game. So you start looking and say Brock Purdy landed in the right spot. If he would have been anywhere else.
He landed in the right spot, but
he landed because they drafted him.
What is he going to do now that all of these people that were making him great, that were deflecting the Deebo Samuels and Ayuks and McCaffrey? You still got McCaffrey, but like you need other weapons, and he doesn't have them. Well, he's not going to have them this year.
Well, he still has Ayuk right now. He's injured. But he's injured. He's injured. And then you bring in Purcell. We saw Juwan Jennings grow up. I mean, he was their number 1 last year when all those other guys were hurt. And I thought he did great. Fantasy football told you that.
Yeah.
You start looking at some of these other guys that they were going to bring in. They got Isaiah Nayor. Remember him?
Yeah.
He's in there as a college free agent. But you still have Christian McCaffrey. We got a chance to see Isaac Granado, the running back. He played unbelievable when he got his opportunities. They got a good offensive line. Trent Williams is still there. So you start looking at their depth, they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. And again, their defense is still intact. Their defense is still intact. You still have a Nick Bosa. You still have – they got the first-round pick, Mykel Williams. He is going to be a monster. Fred Warner's still there. They still have players that are going to be there to help them out. So, San Francisco.
You don't see a significant drop-off, but you have to admit you're going to see a drop-off.
Well, I think as time goes on and people start to understand who you are as an offense, yeah, he's going to have to make some plays for you.
Do you use Kittle more as your third down receiver now that, people like Ayuk and, of course, Debo being gone?
I would definitely. I think he should have been used a lot more anyway because he's that talented of a player.
Line him up at wideout sometime.
He's athletic enough. I do want to ask you this. If you had to pick a rookie of the year from these names, who would you go with? Ashton Genty, Cameron Ward, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, Matthew Golden, or Jackson Dart? Genty and Cam Ward are the layups. Those are the ones that you would normally look at. I would look at Matthew Golden because of
usage. They're going to throw the ball to him.
Jordan Love can definitely spin it when it comes to that type of play, and I think that he will be one of those guys. He's at plus 2,500. Ashton Genty is plus 250. Cam Ward plus 350. Travis Hunter is plus 1,000. Tyler Shuck is at 1,000 too. So he's going to be in the mix because he's going to end up being the starting quarterback possibly for the New Orleans Saints.
I'm going to tell you right off the bat, Hardge, barring injury, Ashton Genty is going to rush for about 1,500 yards.
Well, we shall see. It sounds like Mark's going to go with Ashton Genty. All those odds can be found at DraftKings. A gambling problem? No, just kidding. We'll check it out. But coming up next, you know what time it is. The world's strongest man brings you his world's strongest take right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Well, we're still working that accident East 3rd Street at Onion Street, causing no delay, though, at this point. Disabled vehicle, though, has been cleared out on US 183 southbound at Olin Road. And then finally, some stop-and-go traffic, 35 northbound between Onion Creek Parkway and William Cannon Drive. It's about a 12-minute delay. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Memorial Day deals are on at Lowe's. Get 2 select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets for just $15. Lowe's, we help you save. Valid through 5/28. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Everybody, it's Mike Hardball Hardge.
And this is the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
And we're here to talk to you about MyPlates.com.
Tell them about it, Mike.
Mark, when you're on the road and looking at the vehicles, what's the first thing you see?
Well, I'm usually a nice car, but the plates, baby.
At MyPlates.com, you can create a plate that shows exactly who you are.
Like the one I'm thinking about, the world's strongest man. Had to let them know.
Come on, you can get colors, styles, slogans. MyPlates lets you flex your Texas pride your way.
Big truck, big attitude, and it's better to have a plate to match it.
Hit up MyPlates.com today and put in the promo code THEZONE. That's The Zone, all one word, for up to $55 in savings. And make your ride look as good as you do.
Or even better, MyPlace.com.
That's the way to go. And tell them Hardball Hardge
and Mark Henry
sent you.
If you're in the market for a wood fence for your home or business, Viking Fence is the right choice for you. Viking Fence has been in business for over 50 years and takes pride in being the most reliable fence company in Central Texas. Viking Fence does gorgeous work, from simple privacy fences to custom projects.
Their quality is unmatched. Viking is the only fence company with their own facility where they custom cut red cedar, the most durable and attractive of fence materials, and offer 3 grades of fence pickets, one for every budget. Compare their lumber against the big box stores. And there is no comparison on quality and price. So whether Viking installs your fence or you're doing it yourself, Viking Fence will ensure your satisfaction. Excellent work, great service, and an honest reputation. Call Viking Fence today at 837-6411 for a free estimate or visit their wood fence galleries at vikingfence.com. When you think fence, think Viking.
Shop simple. It doesn't get any easier. You're looking for a new Ford. You don't have time to spend hours at the dealership. You're busy. So Leaf Johnson Ford has made it simple. Pick yours at leafjohnsonford.com. We can bring it to you for a home test drive. Once you determine it's perfect, you can arrange financing, value your trade, and sign all your paperwork digitally. Then simply tell us where and when you want to take delivery. Leaf Johnson Ford. Leaf Johnson Ford has made buying a new Ford simple.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
I love this song. I love nachos.
Loving everything? You might be buzzed.
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzz warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Morning clouds, afternoon sunshine for your Monday, a high near 95. Partly cloudy tonight, could see a stray shower or storm, a low near 75. Tuesday sunshine, a high in the upper 90s.
This report is sponsored by Cordell and Cordell.
Cordell and Cordell, divorce and family law. CordellCordell.com. 866-323-7529. 866-323-7529. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
Sarah Jessica Parker almost walked away from Sex and the City. She talks about that and a lot more on Are You a Charlotte? Plus, Snoop Dogg spills about his inauguration performance backlash, and trust me, he's got a lot of things to say about it with The Breakfast Club. And Aubrey O'Day, Diddy's former protege, joins Amy Robach and TJ Holmes for exclusive coverage of the trial that's gripping the nation.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
This is your home for the Round Rock Express, 1300 The Zone.
You heard that beat dropping, that can only mean one thing. WWE Hall of Famer and the world's strongest man, the Mark Henry, brings you the world's strongest take. Take it away, big fella.
All right.
What's up, man? Thomas.
It's time for the world's strongest take about the world's strongest Marcus. Back then, they didn't know me. Now I'm hot there. Man. Guys, what a playoffs we've had. And I'm not saying it like it's the finals. I know we still have 2 other series before we get to the main course. But this playoff has been weird. I mean, we've had teams that you didn't expect to step up and be great. And we've had great teams, historical teams, go down in flames. But what I want to bring up as my take is about the 2 incredible losses. But not just losses, but what did you call it, Hardge? Skunks.
Beat downs,
lockdown, whatever you want to call it. Let's start in New York. New York Knicks They beat up the Boston Celtics by 38 points. The Denver Nuggets got trounced. They got the skunk yesterday by 32 points. A lot of this is because teams don't have the depth that they need. Now, Boston, they didn't have the depth because of injury.
Yep.
But this is what we keep talking about. We keep coming like the last 3 weeks. Every team that we talked about was the number one thing we talked about was the depth of the bench, and second, the grit of the star. The Knicks have depth, and they have a really, really gritty. They have the grittiest of all the stars in Jalen Brunson.
Oh,
he's the grittiest.
He's the guy that gives young players, smaller guards,
Hope.
Yep.
And then SGA, Hardge, no expression. The dude is like trying to read this wall. You don't know if he's happy. You don't know if he's sad. You don't know if he's frustrated. All he does is just keep playing. And just playing and playing, which led to them having a significant lead. My take is that this is the way it's going to go next season. Teams are going to opt out of the big three mold. You're never going to go out of the big two mode. You need an inside-outside situation. But the big three, I think, is going to go away in the NBA because people realize that you need depth. You need at least 8 players to play. At the speed that they play now, my take is, bro, you better have 8 because you looked at what happened to the Denver Nuggets. They had a rotation of 6, 7 every now and then. You can't win in the league like that. And Boston, as great as they were, they lose 2 players, and they're done. With all the talent, the team that won the NBA championship last year, no depth, bounced on vacation in Galveston. But I feel like there's a new thing that's happening, and you sacrifice the greatness of players on your team for more depth. What say you?
Well, I mean, you start looking at your team as a whole, and you try to figure out, okay, how do we build around it? How do we build around it? The Joker talked about it in his post game, talking about we need depth. Now, I guess my question to you with the fact that those games ended up being blowouts, was it the lack of depth? Was it the scheduling? Was it the injuries that ended up happening because of the scheduling? They were playing all these different back-to-backs and throughout the year. Is that it? But that's why you have to develop depth so you can avoid those types of situations. If you're playing a short bench and your rotation is small, of course players are going to get fatigued. Of course players are going to end up being tired because it's an up and down game.
Yeah.
You're running back and forth. What'd you say the other day about how many miles Steph Curry runs during these games?
8.
That's what I'm saying.
The elite guys run between 4 and 8 miles.
Yeah, it's a lot of conditioning that needs to go into it. And at that stage of the season, if you're going to be a team that plays long, it's kind of like what Coach Sark talked about. We're playing 16 games now.
Yeah.
So for me, I need to slow down and make sure my players' bodies are being taken care of as opposed to go, 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 go. That's the other part. You look at the depth. The reason why Joker's talking about is because they're playing deep into the season again.
Yeah.
So I think that you're spot on the way that you're thinking about these games and where they are.
Get more role players. You remember the league used to be a league of role players.
That's why Alex Caruso is who he is.
Right.
he is a guy that when you need him, when he's called upon, he's fundamentally in place.
And in Boston, you talked about, oh, Mark, you said they were going to fall off a cliff. What about Pritchard? What about this guy, White? That's
one game, man.
They disappeared because they were expected to be great. It's easy to be a role player when you're, some role players, they're just not designed to be stars. And when you put them in a star role, they fold like a window shade.
Well, sometimes that window shade needs to be dusted every once in a while.
All right.
Make sure they clean them up. And I think during the offseason, I think a lot of guys are starting to be a little bit more hungry than what they were. Another great World's Strongest take by the world's strongest man. When we come back, we'll close out the show, send you to Dan Patrick. Game 7 in hockey. Well, it didn't go that well. We'll talk about it right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show, weekdays at 2.
Listen to Something Authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Well, we're still working that accident East 3rd Street at Onion Street, causing no delay, though, at this point. Disabled vehicle, though, has been cleared out on US 183 southbound at Olin Road. And then finally, some stop-and-go traffic, 35 northbound between Onion Creek Parkway and William Cannon Drive. It's about a 12-minute delay. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bosch. With the Bosch 18-volt Bulldog rotary hammer, you can conquer your construction needs, and you can powerfully break through concrete. Get the Bosch 18-volt Bulldog rotary hammer. The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers. T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
The riveting podcast, What Happened to Talina Czar, unravels the chilling mystery surrounding a woman's disappearance during the COVID-19 lockdown, the internet sleuths who wouldn't let it go, and the dark subcultures and betrayals they unearthed.
There were a lot of secrets that were very hard to find.
Listen to What Happened to Talina Czar on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow What Happened to Talina Czar and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
The last thing anyone wants is to leave behind confusion, stress, or worse, family conflict. That's why estate planning isn't just for the wealthy. It's for families like mine, and probably like yours. With Trust and Will, I created my estate plan in minutes, from naming guardians for my kids to putting our house in a trust to avoid probate. Fast, affordable, and way easier than I thought. Every plan is designed by estate planning attorneys and customized for your state. Plans start at just $199 and include essentials like healthcare directives and power of attorney. With Trust and Will's bank-level security and built-in privacy protections, your personal information and your wishes stay safe. Whether you're newly married, raising kids, caring for aging parents, or just want peace of mind, Trust and Will makes it easy to protect what matters most. Go to trustandwill.com, use code RADIO at checkout, and save 20% on your personalized plan. Because there's no better time to protect the people you love. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Hey, Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are ending. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right. Customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder. for a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app in your phone today.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. The Longhorns live here.
What a great way to kick off your week on a Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff. I want to thank you, the people, for always tuning in. And we also want to give a special shout out to myplates.com. If you are looking to get a personalized license plate, all you have to do is get over to myplates.com and also use the promo code THEZONE. The Zone is the promo code for you to get a discount on your license plates.
Man, I'm so excited about my plates right now because today I call in my plate.
Okay.
I am ready. I'm decided. I went through a bunch of options. When y'all see it, give me a honk. Because you don't know that that's Mark Henry in that vehicle. Not to mention that my face is on the truck.
I was finna say they're going to know that, but you think everybody drives 18-wheelers? Talk about some honk.
Hey, man, I'm not everybody, but there's some guys out there driving them big trucks.
Like, wow, I'm going to go on the highway to go ahead and make your thing happen. All right, I want to talk a little bit of hockey. That's right, we're going to do that hockey, folks. Congratulations to the Dallas Stars. If they advance, they will be taking on the Edmonton Oilers at home starting on Wednesday. You can watch it on ESPN. But game sevens, we talk about game sevens all the time. And with the most magical words in sports, so you get all excited. Same thing that we had yesterday as OKC and Denver get together and you end up getting blown out from the blowouts. And the Florida Panthers go into Toronto and defeat the Maple Leafs 6-1. Now, and they win the series, and they will advance to take on Carolina. But here's the thing, that's starting tomorrow, so that's kind of messed up for them to play a game 7 and then come right back in 2 days to go out there and play on the road again.
I thought there was going to be a football score the way they were scoring at the beginning.
Exactly. If they would have been counted as touchdowns, it would have been a blowout. It would have been 42-7. But you start to look at it, and you look at Florida and what they've been able to do. Toronto is a hockey town. They are hockey people. And they were losing their mind last night, hopeful that their team was going to advance in a game 7. And Florida continues to roll on. And now they, like I said, they will go and take on Carolina. That will tip off, or what do you do? Drop the puck. We're going to do that hockey. They're going to drop the puck 7 o'clock on Tuesday. You can watch that on TNT.
We're not going to war with Canada, are we? Because if Toronto lose and Winnipeg lose,
they gone. They still got Edmonton. They still got Edmonton.
If that's, bro, they might nuke us.
You start
right here with them.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy when you start to think about the finals. The Final Four is of 2-3 U.S. teams.
Yeah,
Florida, Carolina, and Dallas, and you only have Edmonton that is sitting there.
I'm just gonna go into my bunker. If you didn't know I had a bunker,
I'm sure you do have a bunker, Mark.
Listen, I'm gonna be watching this game very closely.
You're gonna be watching this series very closely.
Hey, y'all, everybody get in the bunker because it's finna happen.
Also, you'll be happy to know, Mark, this past weekend, the Subway Series between the Mets and the Yankees took place, and the Yankees end up winning the Subway Series.
Let's go.
They won last night 8-2. Cody Bellinger hits a big grand slam. Aaron Judge continues to stay hot, being one of the better players in the MLB. And the standings sit as this right now. The Yankees, they have a 5-game lead in the AL East. They're 27-19, followed by Boston, who is below 500. And then you look at the Mets record. The Mets are 29-18. They got a half-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies, Atlanta Braves, Washington Nationals, and Miami Marlins. We will definitely start picking it up on Major League Baseball coming up this week. We'll start talking more MLB. Also, my boy Chipper Jones, man. My boy Chipper Jones he picked the Orioles to be in the World Series. Well, the Orioles fired their head coach over their manager this weekend. They fire Brandon Hyde. Brandon Hyde is fired and relieved of his duties. And the crazy thing about Brandon Hyde is the fact that he was just manager of the year just shortly. It wasn't that long ago that he was recognized as the manager of the year. So when you start to look at this organization and the changes, yes, they are 11 and a half games back. They were a team that was looking to compete early in the season. And then all of a sudden you got these young players that are really, really talented, but now they have made the move.
We had that conversation last year when Soto left. I was like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
What the Yankees did was they have these guys. Bellinger, I mean, he's stepped up.
Yep.
But they have a lot of young guys that are stepping up. And it kind of goes back to what my take was. You lose a big star.
Yep.
Trade away, he goes in free agency, but you have money to spend on other pieces and increase your depth. So, I think we're on to something, Hardge.
Well, I don't know how much they're onto it, but the crazy, crazy thing about it is you start looking at the changes in baseball, the managerial part, the way that they go about their business, lining up every single day, trying to figure out what your offense and defense and what's your swing paths and all these different things that are out there. But at the end of the day, you have to go out there and your team has to find a way to win games. And if you don't win games, doesn't matter who you are, don't matter if you was a coach of the year, manager of the year, or you have the best minor league farm system, if you don't win, you aren't going to stick around nowadays because there's too many people and too much money involved in this game.
I bet Soto will trade all that money now to be winning.
Well, he is winning. Soto's and them still winning. They just didn't win the Subway Series. You can't.
Know what I'm talking about.
They still in
the
first
Battle
place.
of New York.
Yes,
is just as important as winning the World Series.
Well, yeah.
Maybe not that close, but it's close.
Yeah, they're 6-4 in their last 10 games, and they lost one game. But as I said, the Yankees win the series, and they continue to push the needle. I want to thank Mark Henry. I want to thank my guy Marcus, and I want to thank you, the people, as always. Make sure you tell 5 friends to tell 5 friends that the morning kickoff is your go-to to start your day. And just remember this, folks, don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Peace. Graduation season is here and summertime's right behind it. Celebrate big with a new ride from Cover Ford and Hutto. Right now, $14,421 off of MSRP on a new 2024 Ford Expedition Limited. $12,346